guys, welcome to our very special episode of Geekdom Movies. We just watched the 98th Academy Awards. 98 years. A lot of big moments, a lot of predictable moments, but also a few surprises, and we're gonna get into that. But before we get into it, let me ask you guys some questions. What did you feel like the show, Conan O'Brien hosting, and the show overall, like, did they do a good job, you guys think? Or do you think Conan O'Brien could have done a better job, or somebody else might have done a better job? How did you guys feel about just the overall show?
Yeah, I think Conan O'Brien did as well as could be expected. He had some costumes, he had some good jokes, and then Jimmy Kimmel took over halfway through.
This is probably the most confusing comedy special I've ever watched in my life. I think Conan did great. I don't know what all the interruptions were about. Good job on the movies, though, guys.
Yeah, I'd have to say I honestly did prefer this over like I enjoyed the Jimmy Kimmel ones when he was hosting, but I do have to say I think I prefer Conan O'Brien as the host. Like he's phenomenal.
Hey, I am Conan O'Brien, and I'm honored to be the last human host of the Academy Award. Yes! Yeah! Next year, it's going to be a Waymo and a tux. So check that out.
Like,
He's actually
how can you
funny.
hate him?
I was gonna say I love the opening with the villain from Weapons, and he has it, and then the children are just, you gotta see Weapons. I don't know what else to say. It's phenomenal.
It's on my list.
Easily in top 3 best movie endings ever. And so
Wow.
that
It
could
really
highlight,
is. Like
yeah.
No
I told
spoilers.
no. Well, if you saw the beginning, you
saw
saw the
the
ending.
spoiler.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
It was surprisingly. I laughed the whole 15 minutes. I think. I don't think there was a point where I didn't think it was funny. Like from him going to Marty Supreme and just picking up the ping pong, like whatever paddle is, and just start playing with Timothée Chalamet, to like crossing like with the F1 movie with the racetracks, and like Brad Pitt's like like trying not to crash, and then K-pop Demon Hunters where he ran through in the animation form.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. And then he's like, you guys do such a good job. You thank your humble, you thank your fellow people in your movie and directors and family and God and all that. But I don't think I would do that. And he did the whole thing. If I won, it's like he'd put a crown on him and just
and had Josh Groban over there like
I didn't even know that was Josh Groban.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, I thought Conan did such a good job, but I think like that was the first opening where I laughed 15 minutes straight. I don't think I was not laughing at that whole thing. I thought he did a good job. I think also removing because usually the Oscars get so long, and like they're like, you know what? We're not doing all 5 like songs. We're gonna pick 2 songs that are like the most popular, and they picked, of course, Sinners, and they picked K-pop Demon Hunters Golden.
And the Oscar goes to Golden.
Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters just made Academy Awards history, becoming the first K-pop song to win Best Original Song. This is the first Oscar win and nomination for each of the songwriting team.
And I thought those were really good choices because both those songs felt like you were in a rock band, like in a concert anyway. So it really added to the fun of the ceremony. Like, we're gonna let the audience dance with music. Like Barbie, I think, was the first one to do it when Ken, what's the actor's name? Ryan Gosling.
Ken.
Yeah, when he did that, he had everyone wearing glasses, the Barbie stuff, like a few years ago.
That's what it was missing.
Immersive. It was a very immersive experience for everybody there.
You're right.
They were all part of that performance.
But that's what I liked about Golden, because they had lights in their hands like the movie, and they were like dancing in the crowd. With Sinners, they had like the actors coming through like on stage from the audience to dance on stage. I thought that was really cool. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I do think they need to cut down, because it runs so long sometimes. I wish they would cut down a little bit on speeches or something, just because it's like 3.5 hours. If you're watching it live, like, we got to fast forward most of it, and it still felt long. So like, I can only imagine if you were watching it live, how much that would drag.
I can't say I agree.
Really?
You know what I think would be perfect to do that? No commercial breaks.
I
Yeah.
genuinely feel like if we were to cut the speeches out, like the point of watching the Oscars is kind of moot, right? There's
I
all the
agree.
personality, there's all of the connection with the people who are actually winning.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like, let's watch people walk up. Let's say names. Okay, get off the stage.
True.
Let's say some more names. All right, walk up, wave, get the fuck up. You know, and I just like, as somebody with ADHD, I could not care less about that part. I don't care who won what. I don't know any of the names. I don't know any of these people. These heartfelt stories about how much their family means to them.
Aww.
I love that.
Okay.
Give me some, like all of that content.
Fair.
But like everything else
Could be cut more.
could be an email, honestly.
I honestly think that like probably one of the biggest things that this particular one seemed to point out to me is that all of the actors that they had up there doing like the stage jokes and things like that, like none of that, it all fell flat to me. Everything except Conan's jokes fell
Okay.
flat to me. So
the
like
bridesmaid stuff.
No, Bridesmaids did
Bridesmaid
not
stuff?
fell flat. That was amazing.
Fell so flat. To
Do
me.
you really?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
What? That
it
was my
felt
favorite
forced,
part.
It felt staged. It was
Well, it is
horrible
staged.
for me to
All the
watch.
jokes felt really staged.
So staged. All of them. From Robert Downey, I loved it. I
For
loved
the main
it.
actors,
right? Yeah, like I loved that. You know, like they were trying to make jokes and things like that, but at the same time, it's just.
But like you guys just won an Oscar. You can't act better. Like that's what you're winning the Oscar for.
Yeah, they definitely need to work on their stand up.
They should all work on their acting.
Wow,
All of
that's
them.
amazing.
You heard that here, folks.
Back to
Shannon
acting
saying,
school.
"Hey, you guys should be better actors while you win the Oscar."
Yes.
You know, there were a lot of interesting choices this year. I feel like everybody. Sometimes it feels like a lot like Titanic or Lord of the Rings. Like when you watch the Oscars for the year Titanic was nominated, they won like 13 awards. It all went to Titanic. There was no diversity. It was like Titanic. Then when it was Lord of the Rings, there was no diversity. It was like Lord of the Rings. It just like you.
Was true.
True, but there was no love to give to every film. It was just like one shot. One movie gets everything. The reason I like this Oscars was you had Frankenstein, you had K-pop Demon Hunters, you had Sinners, you had One Battle After Another. You even got Hamnet in there, which well deserved for the female lead for Hamnet. She did an amazing job. I really felt like everybody was kind of sharing the love of like their great movies this year, and that doesn't happen a lot. And I really appreciated that. I'm so glad Ryan Coogler, who did Sinners, got an Oscar. I'm so glad after 14 nominations and 30 years, Paul Thomas Anderson finally got his Oscar. You know, like Michael B. Jordan, who's been in film since he was a kid. Like, for goodness sakes, he was the kid in The Wire. He's been around so long, and he finally got his due. You know, it was really awesome. The other thing that really spoke to me was the love that South Korea and K-pop Demon Hunters really showed the impact of their culture, of their nation. I don't know what the right word is. I'm trying to think of it. The people who do K-pop Demon Hunter, who do K-pop in Korea. You got to see a lot of like Korean representation that's never been there before. Actually, you know what? Let's break it down. What did you guys think of Best Picture nominee Paul Thomas Anderson winning Best Picture? Shannon, you have not seen One Battle After Another.
I haven't seen it.
So we don't really have much to go off of you for that one. But what did you guys think of One Battle After Another winning Best Picture? Do you think it was an important film and that it represented what the last year was for the nation, for the country, and it spoke a lot about that, maybe politically?
I think that it is an incredibly fun film.
Okay.
I think that I really enjoy that the girl in the end, Shannon, cover your ears, spoilers, saves herself, that her dad is only ever following her and does not save her in the end. It's her own ingenuity, her own instincts, right?
Yeah.
With the support of her father throughout her life, right? But also like she had a lot of that in her, and, and I love that gets
like represented
its own spotlight. That being said, I think that a lot of the social commentary happening in the movie is very on the surface. It's not doing bad as far as it goes. I just don't think that the commentary goes far enough for me to feel like it is an example of this year in US politics.
Right. So Paul Thomas Anderson, of course, he wrote this 3 years ago, and it was more like a satire comedy on the 2016 to 2020 people in cages and immigration. He didn't think that by the time this movie came out, immigration would be a lot more worse than it already was.
I mean, even for the time, right?
Right.
I guess it's. I'm just saying that like the dialogue is incredibly shallow. It goes in and says like, "Hey, immigration is wrong," but like, does it ever say why? Like, forced detention centers are wrong, or does it just say it's wrong?
Right. I would say a lot of the reasons movies' message is not as strong as when I was watching the movie, I was like, cinematography. Like, these people are amazing actors. Like, Leo is really, in the first 20 minutes of the movie, I'm just like, I don't really like Leo in this role. Like, what is he doing? He's just bumbling around while all these people are starting a revolution. Like, what is this character? It wasn't until later on that you got to see Leo really act and be a character, like a real character in the movie. So I thought that was really good. And I also think sometimes satire is better than actual drama, because what satire or comedy is supposed to do is make fun of the thing that they're representing in a smart way politically to speak to the audience. And I think One Battle After Another achieve that goal, where put ideas in your head without shoving it down your throat. That's just me.
I don't know. I think I agree with Sarah on this. I don't think this movie was going to change anyone's mind. I think it was it reminds me in a way of the Naked Gun movie, where the plot device was named Plot Device. That's as much thought that was put into the writing of this film.
Oh wow,
I know I'm digging into it here, but but I do have to say I think the writing was semi-abysmal for this film.
wow.
And I was shocked on all accounts.
Sometimes what the Oscars do, and they did this to Martin Scorsese for The Departed. If you look at Martin Scorsese's list of movies and you say, what is the best movie Martin Scorsese has ever made? The Departed is not going to be up there.
No.
But he was nominated for 3 decades, and they didn't do it for Goodfellas. They didn't give it to him for The Aviator. It was more like, sorry, here's your prize for making great movies. We don't think The Departed is that. I think The Departed is a great movie. But if you look at his list of movies that he has made, what's the one where Leo plays like New York and he's a politician?
Inception. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
No, not Wolf. Another Martin Scorsese movie. It's 1800s in New York.
It's probably like
I'm such a
Leonardo
dumbass. I was like,
DiCaprio
Peaky
movies.
Blinders? No.
Similar.
That wrong continent.
Anyways,
maybe the
Not
right
a movie.
decade has no Leonardo DiCaprio.
No.
Not close.
Paul Thomas Anderson kind of got his due for making movies that were great, that you can go down the list of, and they were like, yeah, we kind of denied you the Oscar for like 20 plus years. That's why he goes up there and he says, you guys really made me work for it. Saying like, this is a movie that doesn't deserve an Oscar as much as previous movies, but it's good enough where we can give it to you because you've been making movies so long.
Yeah.
And you've made so many great movies, but every year you lost.
He should have won it for Gilbert Grape when he was 12. Come on.
Who?
Gilbert Grape.
Are you talking about Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yes.
I'm talking about Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, I was still
The writer and director. So Paul Thomas Anderson has had, somebody can Google it, like how many movies, but he's been nominated 2 decades.
We were commenting like on the movie itself and its message, and I think we've switched now to like Paul Thomas Anderson actually getting the award.
Anyways, we can talk about this more, but let's get past this. Who would you have thought should have won Best Picture? So I would say Sinners should have won Best Picture if it wasn't for going to be One Battle After Another. I mean, me, Shannon, and George was mesmerized in theaters watching that movie. That was such a experience watching Sinners in theaters, in IMAX. It was mind-boggling how good that movie was. I think that's the movie that should have won Best Picture. What do you guys think?
I didn't see all of them on the list. I did really enjoy Sinners. Frankenstein had amazing sets, but it was kind of a slow, boring movie.
And it won for sets and costume for a reason. It won 3.
It did win sets, which I'm happy about, but we'll get back to that.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to agree on Sinners. There was a lot of cultural and religious, spiritual folklore, like such deep heritage in Sinners, I think, for a lot of people. Right. And so to have so much of the intergenerational pain that has been pushed upon the American people on the part of other American people and also the American government, right, and have it come out with a message of like ancestral connection and tying ourselves into, you know, the power of the creator and everything like that, and just how tangible and unavoidable the fact is that like love is the greatest force.
Right. I think Paul Thomas Anderson also called that out. He was like, you know, if you look at the list of movies, like me winning is just today's mood. Like you can say today, somebody would say this is great, but then tomorrow the mood changes and Sinners would be great. It's not really a fair competition. Just say any of these movies, Frankenstein, Hamlet, Marty Supreme, Sinners, One Battle After Another, they're all great, and that's why they've been nominated for Best Picture. But I thought that was really cool. What about you, George? You think Sinners?
I was actually going to say Marty Supreme, but
okay.
I've been thinking it over more, and Kevin O'Leary's character and Gwyneth Paltrow's character still bother me from that film.
We talked about that after the review.
We did, and I would have to say, I think because of that, Sinners would be the best choice. I do kind of wonder if it was slightly snubbed just because the release date. If the release date had something to do with it, like it was. As they mentioned in the Oscars, it was almost a year ago. So it was one of the first films of the year. And I feel like if they wanted
Which movie,
to...
sorry?
Sinners. Like it was a
It was
long
February
time
last
ago.
year. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like because of that, it definitely suffered in the votes.
Oh, are you saying like it lost relevance with time?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it was because it actually lost relevance with time. I just think it was no longer on the edge of everyone's mind.
That's the issue, right? Because a lot of Oscar movies purposely pick fall, winter,
Yes.
like October, November, December to release their movies because they know that the longer they wait in the year, the longer it will be people's minds. So when the Oscars and the Golden Globes come out, yeah, no, that's good. Actually, this leads to the snubs and surprises category of my questions. The Marty Supreme shout out. Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme went into the night with 9 nominations, and get this, left with 0. It is the biggest snub in recent memory, and a lot of the momentum. So Timothée Chalamet won the Golden Globe for Best Actor, the Critic Choice Awards, BAFTA British Awards. He won Best Actor for all 3, and then suddenly the script flipped, and Michael B. Jordan won the SAG Screen Actors Guild Award, and then everybody was like, Michael B. Jordan just won for best screen actor. So how the Oscars work is the producers have to vote for the producers. A songwriter votes for the best songwriter. Animated film, all the animated filmmakers choose best animated film, right? And since Michael B. Jordan just won for Screen Actors Guild Awards, then it's a lock for Michael B. Jordan now, because all the people that voted Screen Actors Guild are the same people that are about to vote for the Oscars, because all the actors are voting for the actors again. It was like the script just completely flipped. And there's a lot of people saying, I think the reason Timothée Chalamet lost is because of his comment about opera and ballet or whatever. I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason Michael B. Jordan won is because he was really good in the movie, and he had to play 2 brothers and another brother who turns into a vampire and flips personalities.
He did it so well, I forgot he played both parts.
Was Robert De Niro a vampire?
Robert De Niro.
Did we figure that out?
Oh, Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah.
Fucking sorry.
Robert De Niro was in
O'Leary.
Sinners?
I don't
How did
think
I
they-
miss this?
I need to
I-
know.
I
Really
know.
good
I
actor.
kind of want to know. Yeah, he says it in the movie, but I halfway wonder if they left that completely open just to be like, oh, he might be.
Yeah.
Marty would never know, so you'll never know.
Oh.
You know?
Is that why
So
his wife hates him?
I think so. I think there's multiple reasons. Part of which is because kind of saw a little bit of this in the Marty Supreme movie. I think her reviews ended up bombing for her play, right? Because she had a play that she was doing. He was funding it. She didn't know about that. And it turns out that I think the reviews for it ended up being terrible, which is why she never came back out to Marty, because she was being consoled in that room, and Marty tried to barge in, and that's when he ended up having to go to Kevin O'Leary's character.
Because that's really the last thing we see of her in that movie before we cut to her like crying in the bedroom, is her getting the call from like a critic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we could never figure out what the hell was going on in that scene.
I'm pretty sure that her play
She bombed it.
bombed.
So I remember when we walked out of Marty Supreme, I'm like, I appreciate what the movie is. I really thought it was interesting, but I hate Marty Supreme, the character. Like
Oh, yes.
everything he did in that movie. We talked about this for like half an hour during our review. Like, wow, imagine making every stupid mistake in the world and like screwing yourself over. You have all that talent, you have all that charisma, and you purposely shoot yourself in the foot. And then I saw a critic say, and this was really interesting, it's like, this is what social media has done. Social media has made people think their opinions or their voice is more accurate than real life, because the social media is a closed box system where, like, if you're conservative, all the conservatives are in one circle. If you're a liberal, all the liberals are agreeing with each other in this circle. And like they're all like high-fiving each other, but there's no diversity.
I don't know if you had seen, but they're noticing that with AI as well.
Right. So there you go. Now it's
AI
evolving to AI.
AI is also telling you you're right, even
Yeah.
in situations where you're not.
Right. Right.
Simply because you want to be right.
And they want to give you the gift of making you feel good, just like social media does,
Because
with all the
that's
likes
also
and the
how
clicks
we
and the
then go back and rate AI.
Right.
Is how it made us feel.
right.
So we're telling it to tell us
How to feel.
yes.
Echo chamber.
Yeah.
You're in an echo chamber with everyone that agrees with you, and they're just going to make you feel good because nobody's challenging your ideas or your thought process. You're not going to, like, the problem with social media really is like that, because one of the things that I appreciated growing up, high school has a lot of issues, but one of the things, like, if I said something dumb or wrong or stupid, I was embarrassed to say it, right?
Yeah.
But once you take that thing out, and now you're just stuck in an echo chamber, that embarrassment, that getting corrected just completely
Chat
goes away.
GTP going. And honestly, that's brave to everything you say. Yeah.
Let's keep moving. All right, so Academy has known for not recognizes horror or comedy ever. Like, rarely. I think The Sixth Sense was the last time the
Oh.
Academy was like, oh yeah, or The Shining was the last time for a movie that was a horror. But this year, we of course had Amy Madigan won Best Supporting Actress for the horror film Weapon.
And the Oscar goes to Amy Madigan.
This is the first Oscar win and second nomination for Amy Madigan.
Well deserved. I mean, the fact that Amy Madigan came up with her own character type as a witch and what that would look like on film and how she would come off, really just, God, Weapon scared the fuck out of me. Not because it was scary, she was just so creepy and ugh.
And you couldn't tell quite what she was doing or why.
Right.
Like
That's scary.
it was that part,
Yeah.
just the amount of like mystery involved in her character was phenomenal.
Yeah. I have never seen I'm thinking the Joker, like Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight, or gosh, what's a really good villain and you were just like amazed by this person was just doing, like, it was that level good. She was that good. Every time she was on screen, I was like, wow, you are really creepy and scary. Every word, every action in that movie was just like,
What is Inglorious Bastards? There's the
the hit.
guy,
Yeah, I know.
the bad guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the Nazi guy.
There is an element that
Of
they both
that.
share, which is like the cold calculation and
Yeah.
everything that they do,
Right.
covered in this like sickly sweet perfume, but like you know it's fake because you know
Right.
he's a monster and you know she's definitely up to something,
Mm.
and like you don't really know what it is until
Right.
I want to say like what 2/3 through the movie.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then, of course, horror genre, we also saw Sinners win, like, so many awards. God, first woman, like, what? The first woman to win Best Cinematography behind a camera in 98 years? How's that even?
Well, we live in a world that
Wow.
systemically and habitually undervalues women, so I don't think it's really
I mean-
a surprise it took us this long, but congratulations.
Yeah, seriously. Like, it was and she did the cinematography in Sinners is man, so many sky shots and cornfields and church shots and lake shots and night shots and barn shots. Like the list goes on in Sinners, where you're just like, oh my God, I'm just eating everything up on screen. Like such a well-deserved. And she has so much class and humility and such a tone with her voice. Like she's a very intelligent woman, where she was like, she didn't even say, I'm the first woman to win the Oscar. She was just like, I'm up here, I won this is really important. Every woman stand up on stage, because I couldn't have been here without all the women that came before me. And she honored past cinematographers that were women. Conan O'Brien had to come later because I was laughing. He's like, first woman to win cinematography, but like she didn't even try to like overdo it either. She was just straight up class, you know. Like can't wait else what she does. I don't know. It was really out of all the moments, I think that moment will stick out for me for this Oscars. Actually, another horror genre winning. We had two genres of horror actually like being nominated. That's never been happened before, because horror just gets left behind in the dust during the Oscars.
Yeah, I think a lot of horror movies are like thrown together and cheap and just jump scares, whereas Sinners actually had a point to it and a message and art and cinematography, and it happened to be scary too. But that wasn't its only goal, was not just to scare you.
It was teaching you about a culture, a time in history.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff, yeah.
I feel like one of the only issues I had with this, I guess this isn't for cinematography, but for sound, Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't nominated, and it had a fantastic soundtrack.
Really?
Like,
the first one, right?
No, the second one had one of like the best soundtracks of this past year that I heard, and I can't believe it wasn't nominated. Yeah.
Huh.
The first ever casting award, never been done before in 98 years, but this year the history was made with the first ever Oscar for best casting going to one battle after another. Does this category feel like a necessary addition to the broadcast? I'd say yes, because the casting job is to find people that are perfect for the role, not the best actors or the movie stars, like people in a role for that role. I still can't believe in One Battle After Another, that teenage girl, that's her first movie.
If you think that's wild, though, remember Honora was
also
her first movie for Best Actress last year.
But that's a good casting director.
Yes.
And honestly, like if it wasn't going to go to One Battle After Another, which was casted beautifully by so many different unique people, Sinners had a complete amazing cast of Black African Americans living in the South, white people, Irish coming.
There's some Asian in there.
An entire community of Asians that live in a part of history of America that has never been addressed in history. That I was like, I remember watching Sinners, I'm like, they're making that crap up. There's no Asians at the time. Then I went on Google.
Are you kidding me?
No, I didn't know.
The Chinese immigration?
No, I didn't know.
Wow.
In the South, yeah.
You were talking about like how you wanted to see how we built like a lot of our railroad tracks. A lot of that was
by the Asians.
Yeah,
Those Chinese immigrants.
No, I learned a lot afterwards
because railroads and build them.
But that's what a movie does. It like takes something.
The really messed up part was a lot of them were so mistreated. A lot of those train tracks are built upon their very bodies.
Yes.
Oh.
They would work them so hard they would just fall
America.
into the foundation and then concrete over them.
Michael B. Jordan's twin performance. So Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor for playing Smoke and Stack in Sinners. In a year where Timothée Chalamet and Leonardo DiCaprio were also nominated, did the gimmick of playing twins give him the edge, or was the acting simply undeniable? The way that, I know we talked about this, but that question is really well asked that I've never thought about it that way. Was it a gimmick? I think it was both a gimmick and an edge.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, how prevalent is it to have two twins who are not only identical but also fantastic actors?
Right.
I think to give Michael B. Jordan a lot of credit where credit is due, having such profound chemistry with yourself can't be an easy task.
Yeah. No, that's true. The Missing Speech. Sean Penn won Best Supporting Actor. This was his third win, and he was absent. I feel like Sean Penn maybe been like, I won 2 more times. I'm good. I can skip this one and make my documentary in Ukraine that I'm working on. So it was kind of like bittersweet in a weird way. But it asked the question, do you think Delroy Lindo for Sinners was a good second favorite if Sean Penn wasn't going to come and get his Oscar? I still think Sean Penn was the best of that supporting cast. He is so terrifying in that role, also so lost in that role that it was really good.
I would venture to say he was the only one that solidified the story.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he actually was the story,
he
like
was-
the
he was
real
almost
villain.
he was almost like the meat and potatoes of
Right.
like the reason why they had a cause.
Right.
Was because of people like him and his character.
Because think about it,
But-
he's playing a politician, a military man, a white supremacist, a misogynist. Misogynist?
If misogynist.
Misogynist, thank you.
Yeah. If I had to say though, I really thought Benicio del Toro should have won.
He was nominated.
He was nominated.
Yeah.
And he was great, walking from room to room. Be like, we gotta get to the tunnel. We gotta get to the tunnel.
The cool, calm effect as he's just like,
walking from
like
room to room.
delivering
While
you
Leonardo
know,
was on the
essentially
ground.
like
Yeah.
the war commands, you know, and
Yeah.
this group of
We
people
trained for
trying
this.
to-
And then somebody's like, I don't want to go in the tunnel. It's like, nope, you gotta get to the tunnel. This is our time. You gotta get to the tunnel.
There you go.
It was so, well, in the movie, illegal immigrants are like all hiding out in the city, and Benicio del Toro's character is like the leader in some way, and they built a tunnel underground to escape the American military
Oh wow.
to freedom to Canada. It's like they're playing into the underground. One of the things that was really cool about
It
One
seems to
Tunnel.
me that he's likely like what do we call
Underground
it? Like a
railroad.
naturalized citizen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like he has a level of legitimacy that a lot of the people he's helping certainly do not.
Well, so
Yeah.
so were the white
Yeah.
people they were arresting throughout the movie. Like the guy on the radio, they had their own like code. Leonardo DiCaprio, I need you to say the word. I just want to find my daughter, and I'm trying to tell you, I'm high as F right now.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to go into a little bit in the technical side. So the YouTube move, Conan O'Brien joked about, which is actually true, the Oscars will be moving to YouTube in 2029, but rather with ratings down 9% this year, only 17 million viewers in America, with last year being 20, and the year before for Barbie, that was the biggest with 30 million viewers. But I think Oppenheimer and Barbenheimer was
That was the big one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that really brought people in. Do you think that the show actually belongs on streaming platform, or do you think it belongs still on broadcast television? The older these generations get and the more kids grow up, I remember Saturday morning cartoons. I remember watching live television. I don't know anyone in the last 10 years that grew up has ever even turned on a TV station. or TV.
No, it's a thing of the past.
It really is like the evolution of television going towards streaming. And I think putting the Oscars, the broadcast on YouTube, well, it's going to be dual. Of course, it's still going to be on TV, but now you can watch it on YouTube is actually a great idea. A lot of people would probably tune in being like, oh, I can watch the Oscars on my phone or laptop or
Yeah.
iPad or whatever. I
It
don't know.
has to be streaming if they want anyone under 40 to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what gets the biggest numbers of people who watch live television? Do you know what those demographics
Old
are?
people.
But what are they watching?
Oh, probably like reruns of
Politics?
I was gonna say
the
Fox
Golden
News,
Girls or
CNN.
Facts of Life.
You
or
said it.
something. What was it?
Fox News.
Fox News. That makes
News.
sense. They're all
I went to Sean's
tradition.
parents' house, and what did they have running in the background? Fox News all day, right?
Tradition.
And then what is the youngest demographics? What are they watching live? George knows.
They're streaming Moana and Bluey on Disney Plus.
Well, yes, but what are the young demographics watching live on television today?
Oh,
What
they're
are they
not.
tuning? What? No, they are. But what are they watching? What are they tuning into? George knows this. I think. You got it. Oh, I thought George was going to say it.
sports, Yeah,
Yeah,
duh.
no, that makes
NFL,
Well,
Olympics,
part of-
NBA.
Yeah.
Part
time.
of the
Yes.
reason why though is the only places where they now will see television and like streaming things like that would be situations where like let's say for example if you go to a bar, what are you
Yeah.
watching? You're watching sports. If you the only time you're going to
Go
be
to the
watching
gym,
news
sports.
or something like that would probably be in like a doctor's waiting room at this
Yeah.
point. That's the only time you're ever going to be
Yeah.
exposed to it. Nobody else is going to be
Like the
watching
airport.
it.
All right, last question of the night. We did it, guys. Good job for staying awake. We're almost hitting midnight here, but last question. In memoriam controversy, the Reiner tribute, Rob Reiner, Reiner tribute.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal's tribute to Rob and Michelle Reiner was the most emotional heart of the night. Was it handled with the right amount of grace, or did the surrounding fast-paced nature of the show clash with the segment's somber tone? Honestly, the memoriam was one of my favorite parts because I actually forgotten the movies Rob Reiner and his wife have made
Me too.
and how tragic that loss is to not just Hollywood but to all of us. they were still
Princess
making
Bride.
A Few Good Men,
I
The American
know.
President,
Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally. I'll have what she's having. every
The
time.
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me, horrible movie, but yeah.
Oh, I like that
I
one.
know this is a bad thing to like critique at this point. I would have to say the only issue I had with the In Memoriam was the fact that like the picture resolutions between everyone was different.
Yeah,
That kind of threw.
because they're all from
I
different
know
eras.
this is nitpicking. Like I absolutely love the In Memoriam. Like what they did for that segment was fantastic, and they did a phenomenal job. And I loved hearing all of their stories. But when they were showing the photos of like some of like the directors, some of the different like screenwriters, like people like that had passed, it was like clip art just like pasted on the background, and I'm just like, I can't believe they didn't edit that just a little bit more.
It's the Oscars.
It's the
Come
Oscars.
on, guy. Yeah.
You guys have the best editors. What did you do?
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I thought that. And then also I gotta say Robert Redford with what's her name? You said her
Catherine
name.
O'Hara.
No.
Barbara
Streisand. Yeah,
Yes.
Barbara Streisand didn't. That was really good too. I mean,
Yeah.
this year. I mean, not this year. Last year, we lost so many legends like Robert Duvall, like Catherine O'Hara,
Redford.
Diane Keaton, Robert Redford, Rob Reiner and his. Oh my God, the list just goes on. It's like Dawson's Creek. Well, no, that was this year, so that doesn't really count.
That's the name of the show. That's not his name.
But the actor James Vanderbeek.
We lost the whole show. Oh, man.
Not the
The whole cast.
Every single one of them.
Oh,
Oh, there. All right. That shows you how sleepy and tired I'm getting. Overall, just a great night. K-pop Demon Hunters was going to win. We knew
Phenomenal.
it. Your mom knew it. Your mom's kids knew it. Everybody
so
knew it.
glad.
Yeah,
I'm so
best-
glad. They
Yeah,
deserve
well
that.
deserved.
If you can make a movie with a song that literally tops the charts,
Yeah.
you
For like a
should be
year
winning.
straight.
You should be winning that.
When you're
Like,
breaking Michael Jackson's record for
yes.
#1 song on the billboards, that's when you don't need to win anything else. Honestly, that Oscar is just a second prize to what you did.
Yes. But
Like,
well deserved.
Well deserved nonetheless, right? Man, like, okay, let's.
More movies with little birds and silly hats.
More silly hats with little birds under them.
Oh, there was a bird, the crow with the hat. Oh, I forgot. I'm like, what are you talking
The
about?
people demand it.
The people demand. I just say more K-pop.
Yeah, we do need more K-pop.
But I think, like anime now is like front and center in America now. Like you
Yeah.
can't go anywhere where nobody's not watching anime. I think K-pop and like Korean culture is finally. I know J-pop was already here, Japanese
Oh yeah.
pop, but now K-pop's really having its moment, and it's All right, well, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Great job, guys. Thanks for sitting through close to 3 hours.